Hello and welcome. I'm Melinda Kinwami. Tonight, federal lawmakers divided over planned deduction of $1 billion from the excess crude account to fight Boko Haram insurgency. Federal and state governments move to douse tension in Benue and other troubled states, sets up committee to meet with Mietiala and other groups to arrest the situation. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo formally registers as member of the Coalition for Nigeria movement, says the action is for the love of country. And about 950 workers trapped on the ground at a South African gold mine.
On business news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari nominates Edward Adamu as second deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria after Aisha Ahmad.
On sports news, former FIFA President Sepp Blatter considers legal action against the World Football governing body in an attempt to clear his name following his suspension in 2016.
And from Abuja, Senate applauds Federal High Court judgment affirming its authority to confirm or reject the appointment of acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu.
Proposed $1 billion to be drawn from the excess crude account to fight the Boko Haram insurgency. The deduction has drawn an intense debate on the floor of the House of Representatives. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports that there was a division amongst lawmakers and the Speaker finally stepped down the motion.
Their services are really needed.
It's one of the first motions of the day in the House of Representatives. It seeks to ensure that 13% derivation is deducted from the $1 billion approved to be withdrawn from the excess crude account by the National Economic Council.
I urge us to so resolve by supporting this motion that pursuant to the Constitution, the 13% of $1 billion be paid to deserving states under the derivation principle.
An intense debate follows as lawmakers raise different issues.
If we do accept that this challenge, the Boko Haram challenge, is a challenge to the sovereignty of Nigeria and to the stability of the country, then we all agree that we have a stake in addressing or ending this challenge.
The president has requested for $1 billion. We can't give the president less than $1 billion. So if we are going to even say as a House, we should approve this, it should be $1 billion plus 13% plus Natural Resources Fund plus the charge to ecological and the charge to other first-line charges.
The Speaker then informs the House that the funds may be taken from the state's share of the excess crude account. This raises more questions.
If it is state money, and state assemblies have passed the resolutions saying that we have authorized that the federal government can utilize this money belonging to the state, what really should be the place of the National Assembly?
If it is true that it's from the governor's, the various state account, we will have known that there's also an amount being taken from excess crude account. Federal government allocation is ₦1. State allocation is ₦1. From the state allocation, state now donate so amount. Local government allocation is so amount. We didn't get that information, Mr. Speaker. All we had is ₦1 billion taken.
Eventually, the Speaker rules that the motion be stepped down.
But as it is, I don't know what has been done. I don't know what is the basis of the complaint that we have, really. So that is my take on this, and there's no need amending this, really. I think we just have to suspend it somewhere until we're able to establish wrongdoing. Then we can now use the sledgehammer.
He directs the House Committee on Finance to look into the matter, get the facts, and report back to the House in 4 weeks. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, says the budgetary system, which results in capping of funds despite the needs of an organization, is slowing down the fight to rid Nigeria of terrorism. The Chief of Army Staff explains that most of the lingering security challenges remain unresolved as funds to carry them out are not immediately available, which has resulted in casualties and delays. He mentioned this while defending the Army's 2018 budget estimate with the Senate committee in Abuja.
It's the continuation of the budget defense session at the National Assembly. The Nigerian Army is before the Senate Committee on Army to present its 2018 budget. The Army Chief proposes the sum of 233.05 billion naira for its 2018 budget estimates.
The Nigerian Army is saddled with unpaid allowances such as ration, cash allowance, medical and cost allowances, among others. However, this was 100% released. In preparation for 2018 budget, the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning proposed the total sum of 233.05 billion naira only. However, the Nigerian Army is requesting for the sum of 261.67 billion naira only.
Detailing the Army's needs in wartime, the Army Chief asserts that a total of 39.8 billion naira would better cater for the capital component, adding that the money would be used to procure drones and additional arms and ammunition. In response, the Vice Chairman of the committee, Senator Ibrahim Dambaba, says it is lamentable that funds for the Army to address security challenges which border on the territorial integrity of the country are not fully released.
The inadequate budgetary allocation, subsisting envelope budget system and partial release of funds have negatively affected the Nigerian Army towards achieving utmost secured environment for the citizenry. We are intending to procure drones and then establish aerial reconnaissance center or aerial intelligence center for the Nigerian Army at the sum of 2.05 billion. We also have the rehabilitation of Nigerian Army barracks across the 6 geopolitical zones, about 5 billion naira.
Where we have so much challenges in terms of even territorial integrity of this country. For the government not to be releasing funds, that meager funds that were made available in the budget. In spite of that, it's shocking to know that only 42% of that has been released.
As the nation fights internal security threats, funding on this day proved central to discussions around how ultimate success might be achieved.
And still in the nation's capital, Abuja, to find a solution to the farmers and herdsmen crisis, a committee made up of technocrats, traditional and religious leaders is to be set up to interface with the leadership of the Miyetti Allah group and other organizations. This formed part of the outcome of a meeting between the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and some governors at the presidential villa. The governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, who spoke on behalf of the team, explained what the technocrats will be doing.
In our discussion today, we have set a committee headed by Governor of Ebonyi State, Plateau and Adamawa, and we're bringing some other technocrats that will visited the hotspot states, Benue, Taraba, Zamfara and Adamawa, where there are those crises, so that they can interface with the Miyetti Allah and other group and see how we can be able to put this matter to a minimal level. While we cannot say we can put it to rest finally, because the trouble of it is a kind of, some of them make it to be a money-making venture. Some of them talk it to it's a criminal act. There are some that want to form criminality, they will hide under this and then form their criminality. So as government, we have to take all the measures. Despite the fact that the army, police, all the security are on the field, respective places, still we have to form this committee to interface with those actors so that this matter can be reduced to the minimum, if possible, to be worked on.
Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. In Benue State, 16 suspects have been arrested in connection with yesterday's violence, which left 7 people dead in Boko. The Commissioner of Police in Benue State, Fatai Owosheni, confirmed this to Channels Television, explaining that the Inspector General of Police Special Squad has been deployed to assist his men.
When criminals, crimes are committed, we get to the root of it. We will not leave any gap to promptly go after them, apprehend them, and prosecute. Because we believe that when they see people being prosecuted, that will check impunity. And to let people know that they cannot tolerate crimes or criminalities or criminals as though this person is Yoruba or Igbo or Hausas or Fulanis or thieves. That anyone that goes against the law is first and foremost a criminal.
And in Kaduna State, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has condoled with the people of Kaguru community in Biringwari local government area, where 8 indigents were killed by gunmen suspected to be cattle rustlers. The governor says security operatives have been deployed to the community to maintain law and order, and the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has been mobilized to provide relief materials to distressed persons and also take inventory of the losses. Biringwari, located in the central senatorial zone of Kaduna State, has become notorious for kidnapping, armed robbery, and cattle rustling for some time now, a situation that has become a major security challenge for residents and the state government. And we move away from security matters now. Motorists plying the Lekki and Ikoyi Link Bridge toll plaza have begun paying higher tariffs as an upward review of the monies take full effect today. The drivers and owners of cars and tricycles now pay 200 naira, a 60% increase from the old rate of 120 naira. Our correspondent, Olu Phillips, reports that this is not going down well with the motorists.
So, after many days of anticipated new regime in price for tolls payable at the Lekki Plaza and the Ikoyi Link Bridge, vehicular gridlock has greeted the first day of new fares. While the Lekki Concession Company Limited says it had a series of consultations with relevant stakeholders, motorists on these axes on the first day of the hike enforcement saw the exercise as a bitter pill to swallow.
The charges they are making, it is enough. About how many years ago, I believe all the money they have spent in constructing this toll, they have recovered it. So why are they putting burden on human beings again? What is wrong with our government? Don't they have pity for masses?
The road was jammed as people juggled in between decisions of heading to the toll point to comply with the new regime or use the only alternative roads. Consequences of those cross decisions led to long vehicular traffic.
If I may ask, how could you use taxpayers' money to build roads and then you are still taxing them for toll gates? As if that's enough. You're not taking to 200 naira for private cars and then Jeep 400 and the big bus, big truck 1,000 naira. Where are we going to?
The money is too much.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's 120 for the car.
Before?
Yes,
before. Now it's 200.
Now it's 200. Why?
Between 2011, when the tolling of the Lekki-Etiosa Expressway commenced, the population of humans and the number of housing developments into these axes have surged tremendously, leaving the question about the number of exit arteries available to motorists. Aside the one-lane track linking residents in the Niru area and environs, the 2 available exits are tolled roads. When contacted as regards the myriads of complaints accompanying the new toll rate, the LCC's management says a formal response will be made public soon. Perhaps what may be a soothing response will be to take another look at the hike, announce plans to commence construction of feeder roads as real alternative routes, and perhaps address the traffic that builds up within and around the collection points. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, we look at the leadership challenge facing the country, and we have a former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Mr. Tanko Unisa, live from Abuja to examine this issue. Please stay with us.